all of you, and thank you for joining us today. We are delighted to have you with us. And to those of you just joining us, Athulit Academy was founded by Radhika Gautam, a learning designer and corporate trainer, with her vision rooted in clarity, confidence, and workplace excellence. Through her meaningful learning experiences and practical insights, the Academy works to support professionals in navigating workplace challenges with greater confidence and impact. And here are a few quick pointers to help us make the most of our time together. Kindly keep your microphones on mute to maintain clear audio throughout the conversation. And we encourage you to participate actively through the chat. Your questions and reflections are always welcome. And don't forget to stay with us until the very end. We are excited to have you here and hope today's masterclass brings value, insights, and meaningful takeaways. So, to take us into the heart of today's masterclass, please join me in welcoming Radhika Gautam, founder of Athulet Academy, mentor and behavioral change catalyst. She focuses on the psychology, the bigger picture, and the emotional connections that shape behavior and meaningful change. Next, we have Divya ma'am, our lead behavioral trainer and communication skills trainer. She focuses on the practical strategies, exact communication scripts, and live coaching to help individuals create lasting behavioral shifts. Together, they will be leading today's conversation on your child isn't disrespectful, they are copying you. And before I hand it over to our trainers, a quick note parents of kids, preteens, and teens, you are in the right place. We have 90 minutes ahead, and we encourage you to stay present, keep your notebooks handy, and participate with us throughout the conversation. And with that, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ansia. Welcome, everyone. So, let's not beat around the bush and dive straight into the topic. The hard truth that brought all of us over here tonight. So, every week I come across many parents who keep on saying the same dialogue again and again. My kid just doesn't listen anymore. So, I suddenly came to this realization that parents are looking for some kind of a magical consequence, or they are looking for a better reward, or what do you call a sharper tone to ensure that the child is listening to them. But here is the reality punch: your children actually are listening. They are tuning out your words and copying your nervous system. They aren't being disrespectful, they are mirroring you. That is something which you need to notice. What do you think, Divya?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is the psychological truth many parents find difficult to accept. So, a parent sees a 10-year-old child slamming a door, rolling their eyes, or stomping up the stairs, and immediately we are conditioned to label it as disrespect. But what often goes unnoticed is the same parent had slammed the kitchen cabinet few minutes ago, or had snapped at a spouse, or muttered something in frustration under the breath. Now, as a trainer, since we are used to observing, we observe a one pattern which is repeatedly across all kids. Children learn far more from what we do than what we say, or rather, I would say what we preach. And Radhika, I believe human beings are wired for imitation. So long before children understood rules, lectures, or even consequences of what they do, they are studying us. They absorb our tone, our reactions, our patience, our impatience, and even the way we handle stress. The uncomfortable truth is your child is not just listening your instruction. They are becoming a reflection of your behavior. Isn't it, Radhika?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, I personally feel that it comes down to a massive tone mismatch. So let's just close our eyes and imagine everyone's morning, a working day morning in everyone's what do you call houses. The children are going to school, you are rushing to your work, and if they're not going to school, then we do have some who are going for work, who are going to colleges, but the scenario more or less is the same everywhere. And what do you call, we are yelling at our children to get dressed up quickly, we are yelling at them to pack quickly, we are yelling at them to get dressed up quick, dress quickly, come into the car quickly, and we are also yelling at everyone, saying everyone needs to calm down now while we are shouting.
Yes.
It's, we ourselves are shouting and saying all this, we are shouting at the top of our lungs, and we expect absolute zen meditative silence the moment we yell at our children like that, and we expect total compliance. Okay, so what are we expecting? We are expecting total understanding from a person, from a child whose prefrontal cortex isn't yet fully developed. While we, with our adult brains, are completely dysregulated, running on stress and, of course, caffeine.
Yes. I think this is a total mismatch, isn't it? And it brings to one of the greatest or biggest friction points in modern families: inconsistency. So we tell our teenagers to put our phones down during dinner because it's the me time or the family time, right? And family matters, and it does. But barely 2 minutes into the dinner table, we just sneak or glance for an email notification, or maybe quickly responding to an email. But your child notices that double standard instantly. What do you all feel? Don't they?
Absolutely.
So, the lesson they learn is family time matters. That is what we intend to tell them. But what we are teaching them is the rules apply only when they are convenient. So, you can apply it when you need, or you can just leave it. So, children are remarkably skilled at detecting this gap between what we preach and what we practice. And I'm sure each one of you here will agree to this. They may not always challenge you, right? So, 11-year teenager may not really challenge you, but as you said, the Gen Zs, they will. So, although they don't challenge you, but they certainly keep on absorbing it slowly. And trust and respect are built on consistency. Every time our actions contradict our words, our credibility as a parents takes a small hit. And over the time, it keeps on accumulating. What do you think, Radhika?
So here I personally feel, let me just say something. There are times I have noticed that it has happened with me also personally, so I can really gel with this. Uh, when we are actually in that zone, at that scream, in that screaming zone, sometimes your child calls it out. They say it out loudly. Okay, they call out that inconsistency of ours, wherein especially the preteens and teens face, when it is something like when there is an argument going on, they just get out some kind of an incident saying that you also did it like that. So why are you stopping
Yes.
me now?
Right.
you know and initially even I went through the same thing, wherein I felt, see what we got from our parents in general, again the nervous system passes it down. So when I was growing up, my mom from anywhere in this universe, she would just glare at me like this, and it would be a stop. Whatever I would be doing in what I call in my life would come to a standstill because of that one glare. Okay, and that always happened from my mom. My dad was the sweetest, no glares, and yeah, when if things really went down the drain, he would just come and say, pat my back and say, "Beta, is that really right?" And I would go, "Bham, bham, bham," as if that my world came to an end. But my mom would glare and glare. And same. So when it comes to my parenting, when our children don't stop with glares, trust me when I'm saying this, they need
Absolutely.
logic, they need us to tell them why we are yelling at them. Okay. And the mere words saying that because I told you so, or when the child is actually yelling back at us, we actually think as parents, what is wrong with him? This is a what is wrong with him? Why is he not being able to understand, or why is she so angry? Why are they so angry? Okay. And we skip the self check. That's what I feel. Blaming the child's personality is easier than looking at our own flaws, at our own habits. So, here tonight, we are going to change that pattern completely. But before we deep dive into the next segment, I would like to hear your own stories about what do you call how your parents were and how did you react to them. I'm not talking about your kids here. We are going to your parents.
Yeah. So if you ask me, my mom was a she was she was a housewife. She was always available, right? So she was never in a hurry. Things were all going at a very normal space. And my father was the one, like you said, the stare, and we are like, we now call him Hitler because we were terrified of him, and we still are. But my mom was that cooling agent. She used to be that ice pack whenever we used to get the scolding from my dad. She used to calm us down, and she used to ensure that we girls are like safe. So that's how it was.
Sheila?
Yeah, here it was more with my mom, and uh, she still lives with me. And even now, when she gives me a glare, I actually don't make any noise. But yes, I would be really like freeze. It was like that. And yeah, dad would, because he would work in the night shift, so we didn't get much to, get any glares, but pampered, of course. So definitely, yes.
Okay. Smita, would you like to add something to this?
Sure. If you speak about my mother, she was subtle, calm, from being we three sisters together and one after the other. So she was able to manage my elder sister also, me also. There was little bit difficulty with my younger one, but my mother was very subtle, calm kind of a lady, housewife. My father was quite strict, but at the same time, we were free with him only, more with like kind of. As we say, na, the person who's more available, we don't value that person, that kind of thing. Now, being a mother, I could understand at that moment what my mother missed at that moment. Isn't she was always available, ready to serve us, everything she was. Whereas father was going for the job and other things and all. But the thing that I learned from my father was he was used to give us a target for the day, target for the year, and then he was used to manage. He'd be okay, this is told how you are doing it. And there was a fear full of respect, definitely with my father. if you say, and the credit goes to him. I'll say him. The way that he was, the way my mother was, and the full support which was given by my mother in our upbringing. It was not an easy task to upbring three of the kids together, right? So that kind of my father was. Fear with respect.
So,
Target also.
yeah. Sorry, please
Yeah.
continue.
Sure. Okay, continue. You are asking something.
Yeah, so my question over here, Smita, is uh, didn't you ever face a time when you felt that whatever they were asking was unfair? You don't have to tell us that incident, but a simple yes or a no also would be good. If you could share, it's okay. If not, also, it's okay.
That time it was definitely college teenage, definitely it felt like, but we didn't have that much of daring to say my father "Ki bhai, it's wrong, I won't be." It was not, we didn't have that much of daring to deny him. He
Yes.
was used to say whatever you want to do for the whole day, it's okay, but till the time I come back home, you all should be inside the house doing your homework and other things. So that was a restriction given. But sometime it happens na, the teenagers, we require that kind of, but we didn't dare to. And we knew what the reason was. Because he has told us, even now could understand. But that time, sometime frustration, anger was there. What happens? Let us go and all that kind of. But we didn't dare to uh, say it to him clearly. To
Okay.
mother, it was clear because she was always available, na? Calm kind of lady.
So,
Yeah.
Dinesh, would you like to add something about your equation with you and your parents? We are not coming to the kids as yet. With you and your parents.
Yeah. So that equation, I still value. It's like I feel blessed to have such kind of parents. And my father, though strict, but I don't know. Actually, he knows like what we want. So we've never asked for any gifts or toys or anything. So even if it is Diwali, so we would be having a bunch of crackers before Diwali, every function. So even he used to take care of very small petty things. My mother was working as well, so we also have to. So what we have seen is like how both of them were working together, like a chronological clock like works, no? Like if one person is other, so they are working in that manner that makes like okay. And I try to do the same thing, same kind of implementation. Okay, so my father used to do this, so that remains with me. So now I have to do the best I can without my kids even asking. And I remember like he never says no. He used to say, "Okay, what do you think? What is your perspective?" If sometimes when I go to him, but yeah, it's like we don't have that much of courage also at that time. We were of that era that whatever they have said, so that is something good. So if you ask me about those things, definitely yes, because he was an artist, so we were not supposed to touch his pencils or graphs, and being a curious kid and a naughty kid, so we have to touch it. And once it happened, I broke his new pen pencil that was very expensive that time, and it was broken, and I just kept it like that because I couldn't fix it. So
So
I just
all
put it
of them
there.
that Dinesh,
Yeah,
some item or the other, that belong to our parents. Trust me.
yeah. So I actually wanted to use it, and he said, "Please don't use this stuff because this is something which is not for your use." I used it, and what happened? He came and he said, "Somebody has touched my desk." So I said, "No, no, nobody." And then he picked up the pencil, and it was broken. And he said, "Come here. You were saying no, so you would be the." And I was like terrified that he'll be saying. So then he said that, "See, this is what you have done. This is wrong." So I think those values are there. The hardships that I've seen my mother who brought us, like me and my sister, because I lost my father at the age of 10.
Oh,
So even sometimes my mother used to hold my father back, like, okay, you don't do that many expenses of kids and all of this. He was the person who made me like, so I was on my first air trip when I was just 5 years old with my school. So it was like, so growing up or just the memories those memories with me. So I think those are the genes which I carry, and I have seen the hard work after him also, how we have grown up. Uh, because it was only my mother at that time. So I have seen her working 7 days a week. Uh, so that becomes like, okay, I have to work no matter what. I have to do this. I have to. So that environment was there, and we became a part of that hustle.
So,
So,
Dinesh, did you ever at any point, like which is the topic today, did you
mhm.
at any point feel that, I'm not talking about life being unfair, but I'm just saying that when you were in your teens or preteens or something, what was expected of you was not fair when it came to the parental point of view?
Yeah, once like it was, yeah, at my college time when I was in 12th, so I had to choose the subject, and because of that, whatever the things happened in life, so I wanted to take hotel management very seriously at
Okay.
that time. But it was told to me that okay, hotel management, what's in it? Bartan dhoge, you do this and that and all those things. So I was asked to take commerce in that matter because it would be more relevant subject for you. You'll get a job, you'll be stabilized. So, matlab, you wanted to do something else, but then there was a pressure, and then we understand like okay, what is the position? So obeying that. So we didn't say no. There was no, but yeah, deep inside, still those things are there that if I could have done that. So, but I don't blame it. It's time. So because now we are attuned to this. So
Yeah.
these are the things, yes. And as you rightly said that the glare and the stare, even with my father, the equation was like that. Like he wouldn't say
Like
much,
we were in a
but his
generation where the glare and the stare was, I guess, a norm.
Yes.
exactly.
You know?
And for that matter of fact, Radhika, this is the same thing which is happening right now also with my kids.
No, no, we won't
So,
go to the kids right now. We won't go to the
huh,
kids. There is a
but
reason we are not
yeah,
going to
I
talk
know
about our
I'm not
parents.
going to there, but that glare and stare was like a very normal thing. Means they don't have to, and we communicate with the eyes and the expressions, like their mood and all those things. So I don't know that we were not understanding psychology, but that fear or fight or flight kind of a symptom, it came naturally to us. Like, okay, this is हमने कुछ गलती कर दिया, so it means अब तो गए.
और गलती समझ में भी नहीं आता था बहुत, many a times
Sometimes,
we
yes.
never even understood what went wrong, but we just stopped
Exactly.
because of the glare.
And at that time, we were privileged enough to have these kind of facility or the choices of food also. So whatever is being cooked, you have to eat it. And once you say no, then mom would scream, "Bana hai, to khao." And you have to. And
No choice.
nowadays, it's not possible.
Yeah.
They'll be like, okay, let's
There
do
were
Swiggy,
there weren't
let's do Zomato.
Yeah, Sheila?
there weren't too many options. There weren't too many options given then. There is something, it has to be consumed,
No, for
whether
us,
you
it
like
was like,
like
कुछ like Dinesh said just now, घर पे खाना बनता था. Whether you like that thing, you don't like that thing, you have to eat.
yeah. Yes,
It's
you
just,
have to eat it.
there's just no choice there. And after a point, I guess हमारे दिमाग में भी नहीं आता था कि, करना है कि नहीं करना है.
Can say a no.
Yes.
There
So
was,
on this
yeah.
note, now it is time to delve into our parenting. We talked about our parents, we talked about their parenting. Okay, Insia, I haven't touched you because you come in the next generation, and I really debate because then we have to question our parenting if I touch you. So, so the thing is, what do you call? I want all of you to have a paper and a pen next to you. I will wait if you need to get it, but I really need all of you to have this. This is a hands on activity that we are going into. It is a self assessment that we are doing about our parenting here.
It's better than my kids should answer that.
Oh, this is ourselves. We don't need outright answers. What do you
Hmm.
call? This is just what do you call? 60-second review. That's it about
Yeah,
ourselves. Yes. Okay, all of you are ready with a pen and paper, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Let's go on.
So, uh, shall we have the Mentimeter poll before we do this?
Okay.
Or yeah. Okay. So I am dropping a Mentimeter link in the chat box. So I want you all to just poll. Insia, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. I request everyone to just yes. Okay.
Interesting. Extremely interesting. Yes.
Okay. I think everyone has voted. So now these responses remind us of a powerful truth, right? So our children are reflecting our behaviors, what they have seen, and what they've experienced around us. So whether it's the tone of a voice, our body language, or a willingness to listen, or maybe the need to have the last word on the conversation, children are always listening from our examples. Now, the good news is if behaviors can be modeled, they can also be remodeled, right? So, the moment we become aware of what we are demonstrating, we gain the power to change it. And that's what Radhika was talking about. So, let's dwell into the 60-second audio review. So, I want you all to close your eyes right now and just mentally replay the exact dialogue of your last argument with your child. I'll repeat the exact dialogue of your last argument with your child.
I'm also joining them, Divya.
Yeah, yeah, even I intend to.
Yes. Oh my God, there's so many.
The first one that comes to your mind. And it's a no judgment zone. So whatever comes to your mind, just put it down on the paper.
Yes. Basically, we're not going to ask you anything. Nobody is here to shame you as a parent or anything. Just open your notebook and we'll do this mirror audit together. Yes. Okay. You've written down? Okay. Fine. Perfect.
Okay, so let's look at the data now. So what I want you to do is whatever you written on the paper, just put it in chat box, maybe a single line or a single word, whatever is
If you
there.
want to,
Yeah, if you want
very
to.
optional. If you don't, just send a thumbs up like this. We understand. As a parent, we understand why you don't want to talk about it. Enough, Amma. Okay, eat
Eat healthy
healthy
food.
food from Dinesh.
So for my end, it was switch off the TV in 40 minutes, and it was 5 minutes more. I know.
For me, it was chill. Chill. Just that one word which I got.
I think that's their favorite word, and it's
Chill.
like chill, bro. There is also one word which I hear
Yeah,
from my
that's I written. Like bro is like very
bro.
common.
Bro. Yes.
Chill.
Hmm.
Okay, so now I want you to. So again, some question answer sessions. Now I want you to answer three specific questions. Stop crying and speak what you feel. Okay. So thank you for all the responses. So now what I want you to do is I want you to just write down on that paper what was the exact volume, pitch, and speed of your voice during that fight or argument or conversation, whatever you had with your child. The second thing is, did your body language, your jaw, your shoulders, your hands match your words?
We'll go question by question, Divya, so that it's easier for them to follow.
Right.
So the first
Yes.
question, what do you call?
What was the
What was the
exact volume?
exact volume? Write it down.
Which pitch? Decibel. You
Yes.
can mention the decibels.
Volume, pitch, speed of your voice during the fight. Even I am writing down.
It's like a reflection mode. When you write it down, not so high, but above average.
But above average. Absolutely. I mirror Smita's dialogues.
Maximum. Yeah,
Like
even
maximum.
so. Yeah, for
You're
mine,
speaking
mine
like
also.
a banshee then. Dinesh, normal and calm. Okay.
Mine was also maximum. In fact, my throat ached when I shouted at her to switch off the TV
So
because
you're
I had a sense.
mimicking Sheila. Satya, would you like to add something here? No, maybe she's busy. Right.
Rather, I think what happens is this yelling and screaming. I think it's more with mothers rather than fathers. So this
Aha,
is
very good point, Dinesh.
yeah.
Yes, it is a fact actually. I can actually say yes to this because it is not that the father. Do you think the father is not bothered or irritated enough?
No, I don't know. Somehow it is related because this is not a argument with my kids, but yeah, with my wife, of course. That if you say, they'll listen to you, but
Ah,
मेरे साथ तो झगड़ा ही होगा. So I think like kids, they treat mother as their like okay, taken for granted sometimes that okay, mother को तो समझा लेंगे, but father के साथ ऐसा नहीं. And
or
for
maybe
me,
it's a way of treating the mother as a bro and the father, what do you call, as the adult who makes sense.
don't know whether they think that, but both of my kids, they treat me like a friend, and even I'm very comfortable with talking any topic of theirs, be it studies, be it anything. So I don't have any issues. It's
No, no,
morely
no. We don't. We will not go there yet, Dinesh. We are still
yeah.
in the
So
audit mode here, and
yeah,
we have
so
to finish the questions.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it seemed like I this is it. I don't know. There is a psychology of yelling. So if one parent is yelling, so other person definitely
I guess
becomes a little
that's
calmer.
that's mostly the thing, because sometimes when the father is yelling, the mother pitches down. So,
Yeah,
but
so
in
this is
related
We
true.
to
have
the last
examples.
argument, I was mimicking Smita. We have Satya over here saying, I kind of got silent angrily, made her realize that in a way she did something wrong by mistake. Kind of. So I think she has a preteen with her. This sounds like a preteen retaliation of a parent. So, do we have the next question for the parents, Divya?
Yes. So now the second question is, did your body language, like maybe your jaw, your shoulders, or even your hands, match your words? The intensity with which the words flow. How was the hand body language? Did it correspond to the word? Maybe you can just show a thumbs up. Yes, very much. Yes.
My
So
tone
Radhika
was
said,
very chill, but I doubt my face.
yes. So, Smita, do you have to share? Yeah, okay. Body language was calm, not aggressive. Perfect. Okay. So now is the interesting part. So, if a Bollywood actor played you in a movie based strictly on this clip, like whatever was your voice tone and the body language, would the audience see a calm leader or an aggressive opponent? Okay, Dinesh says calm leader. Satya says aggressive opponent. Calm leader is what Smita says.
I feel like an aggressive opponent from inside, but portray like a calm leader from the outside.
That's the sign of an seasoned actor.
So I really am like that because my expressions are usually deadpan because that is something which I get from the kids.
You have to be more dramatic in that.
Absolutely. So, for what do you call? Just pause. Let's take a pause over here. Whatever you have written, we want you to just go through it once more. All the answers to the three questions that you've written. We have the responses that we got are tremendous, right, Divya?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what do you call? Where do you think the practical shift happens over here? Do we demand respect from them, or should they give it to us on their own, or do we have to model the exact behavior? What do you think, parents? What should we do? When say it depends, I totally agree that it depends on the age of the child, whether we respond calmly or whether our response is completely dependent on that. But mm, can we as parents demand respect? My question is that I just need a yes or a no. Can we demand
Yes.
respect, Dinesh? Okay, yes.
Yes, I
Okay.
think so. Yes. Uh,
They should give it on their own, maybe whenever
yeah.
they feel.
So
Smita.
it's like yes
Yes.
was for that. Like they should at least listen to us and respond accordingly. So that way, that's a yes. Not like I'm asking for it unnaturally. It
Okay.
should come by its own.
Okay. Sheila, what do you think?
It should come naturally. We can't demand respect after whatever we did. So I would
So,
say
so you would say?
it should come from them
Okay,
naturally.
fine. But then, okay, what if it doesn't come from them?
Silence.
Because this is a question which I get asked a lot. That is the reason why I am actually saying this. We don't demand respect. They don't know what is wrong and right.
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 Okay. Yes. But have we ever thought from their point of view? That is one thing which we need to constantly check about ourselves. We always, yes, we do see a bigger picture. We do see a picture that they can't even imagine when we are actually shouting or yelling at the child or whatever. But then, have we ever tried to understand the child from their perspective? Yes, we have. We are not bad parents. But we do that when we are calm. So, we need to practice trying to understand their perspective when we are angry. And then, after that, if we feel we are right, well, just do it. You are the parent. But that one questioning has to be done, because I at least feel that we are if we don't respond being a parent, if they don't respond, being a parent needs to navigate. Yes, absolutely, Smita. Because if they are not respecting you, it is okay. Because I once read this poem somewhere. If I haven't what do you call chased after you like a bloodhound, then I am not your parent. And if you feel that I'm chasing you like a bloodhound, then I'm doing my job right.
Absolutely.
So, you know, so it's what do you call something which all of us need to understand. If we want a calm response from our preteen or teen, in fact, our own voice needs to drop an octave and slow down first. You have to lead the dance. Respect comes from action, and we did a barter for that. Absolutely. Absolutely, Dinesh. Because there are times, trust me when I'm saying this, when the tables have turned and I'm shouting like a banshee, and I have my kids just turning and saying, are we speaking to you in the same tone? you know and
Yeah.
and when I am actually in a good mood, and I am like, yes, yes, of course, let's talk amicably. But when I'm in that phase, I become my parent and I'm just glaring at them saying that you just have to listen to it whether you like it or not. And then it is a frustrated sigh from them, and then again later on I'm questioning my parenting.
And the transaction also happens so quickly in parents, the kids don't understand that is happening. I can sense that many times. My 11-year-old is like, she's not understanding what is happening. थोड़े time पहले तो she was all right. What happened? What exactly did I do wrong?
Absolutely. Uh, they don't understand our phases also, the poor things. We have to give them that benefit of doubt. Here comes in Insia. So, Insia,
Smiling.
when a parent actually, I'm serious, I'm talking to you. So, when a parent actually is shouting, and all parents shout, like if a parent doesn't shout, there is something wrong with the parent. So, at some point, when a parent is shouting, does it feel unfair from your end? Do you think that they should stop and listen and then shout if they feel it is unfair?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So when a parent is shouting, and we want that they give us instructions or what we have to do in a calm way, so that we are also not in a state of mind that okay, now they shouted, now I'll do the work in an agitated or that kind of way. So we want them to be calm and then give us directions.
Okay. So, well, right out of the horse's mouth. So,
And she was waiting for a chance.
yes, she was desperate to talk about the parent here yelling. We get your point, Insia. and we are actually
And
listening today
sometimes
for
it happens, Radhika, that the children are today's generation. They think they know it all by all sorts of social media and whatever the things are all around. So they think that they know it all. Their friends know it all, and we are like we are oldies. So that is some of the things which are there, which creates a gap. But yes, what I have figured out sitting with them, learning all those concepts, like okay, fine. I'll tell you the stories of the yesteryears, and you tell me what is happening now. And that's how we're bridging that gap. And uh, I don't have to yell at them, but yeah, conflicts do happen.
Yes, absolutely. I sincerely feel what do you call Sheila, Smita, Satya, all of you over here, that we are in a world where we are running all the time, running from the time we wake up till the time we sleep. So I think all of us need to just stop, take a breath, and then just try to understand what's going on. Because I personally feel that today, a preteen's and a teen's life is, they are in a lot of soup. Trust me when I'm saying this. They are perpetually confused. They are exposed to a much wider world. Uh, like Dinesh said just now, they think they know a lot, but they don't know the repercussions. They don't know the actuality. See, what happens on social media is just 2% of how the world actually functions. It's a brutal world out there. And we feel that we should make them ready for that brutal world. But unfortunately, what is happening currently is that somewhere down the lane, in order to protect them, we are not letting them fall also.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is how are we so hard, how are we so we take everything into our stride as we go along. And why is the same thing not happening with our child? When a certain situation comes, a teeny tiny situation, why is the child going into a panic attack? Why are they so emotional that immediately there is crying, and there is like, there's a surge of emotions, and why is it happening like that? So that is a question which we have to keep on questioning ourselves when we are trying to yell at our children, because they are living in a different bad world where emotions are so rampant. Am I right or wrong, Insia?
Yes, ma'am, you are right.
This is coming from inside. That entire that entire tone is coming from the pit of a stomach.
You know, sometimes what happens, that children also want to be heard. They are not now generation. I know that okay, it's a generational gap, and it will always be right.
Always be
But
there.
then
Always.
it's an always a saying, right? When you become a parent, na, then you will realize that. So we all have used this phrase sometime or the other. But if we relate it back to ourselves also, so we have done all the same thing, right? We have been our parents have yelled for not eating this or that sometimes, and my discussion was also going around the same line. So then, what different I am doing as a parent? So these are the things which we have to understand, and it's a complete psychology behind it. And if we hear them, because sometimes they don't have anybody to talk to, even if they have lots of friends, like we had a session, right? Just delete the number that you don't talk to, or just message once in a year, Happy New Year, and then the next year I'm messaging the same person Happy New Year, and in between there was no messages. So I removed those. But yeah, it is a similar thing which is happening with the child, because he is or she is coming from that stress, like what should I do? What is happening around? Paper leaks are happening. What will be our future? These are growing up kids. They understand, like, okay, what should we do? What skills should I learn? to become more competitive as compared to what our world was. uh, हम लोग सोचते थे
Yeah,
कि
having
बड़े हो
said that,
जाएंगे तो ऐसा हो
actually,
जाएगा.
yeah, we had that what do you call talk with in one of our campus sessions the other day actually, and their answers were well, it was very different from what we are thinking. So what do you call? Yes, thank you so much. And what do you call? Do we move on to the next segment, Divya?
Yes. So let's have a live question and answer discussion round. I mean, we are already doing the same thing, but let's. Radhika, there was an recent question that was popped up from Kirti. So she says, my 13-year-old rolls her eyes and sighs loudly whenever I ask to do some household chores. Now, how do I stop that disrespect? I mean, I think everyone will have the same question.
The eye rolls, huh? It is see, at the end of the day, it just comes down to only one thing. It's like when first let us talk about ourselves. When our boss says something we don't like, or we look at some person who's talking nonsense, and we're just looking at our friend, and both of us are like silently in our mind thinking about the opposite person who's speaking like that. Or when we are in a family situation, there is this relative who that Kalesh relative, and then every family has this one. So when you're just staring at each other and you're rolling your eyes, so again, your nervous system is teaching your child. So they're
Right.
seeing all this from you, correct? So your 13-year-old or 15-year-old or whatever, they are just copying the physical vocabulary that you have taught them. So when you see something like that, what I have noticed as a parent is when I see my children, I'm telling it out of experience, when I see them rolling their eyes, when I say give them some gyan, okay, which is an unending thing which goes on. So at the moment they roll their eyes or something like that, and I'm like, okay, fine, you don't like this, why? Because that is something which I've learned over a period of time. Nobody is born being a good parent, but this is something which actually you listen to them, you don't listen to them, it's a different thing altogether. But we need to ask them why they roll their eyes, because today's generation runs on logic. They are not here like us where you just glare at them and they stop. You have to tell them logically why they need to stop, and then they will do it. Trust me when I'm saying it. If they find it logical, they will do it. And sometimes if they don't do it and they're still rolling their eyes, let it be. No, it's okay. It's just okay. We just have to. My thing is, for every three eye rolls, I ignore one, and the next two I ask them. It's always like that with me.
So, what would be the tactical response in that moment? So, what do you want the parents to exactly do?
Mm, instead of just don't you dare roll your eyes at me, or like that, the main thing as parents, what we need to do is we have to keep our expressions neutral. We can never show our child what we are feeling. Trust me when I'm saying this. And half the battle is won. We just drop our volume, and we just say something like, that's what I said previously. I know something's bothering you. Can you tell me what? Why are you rolling your eyes? See, there is a difference in the tone that we take. Why are you rolling your eyes? Why are you rolling your eyes? Can you just tell me why you felt that? So we need to be amiable when we are talking, not sarcastic.
And I think once you do that, you immediately walk away from that scenario, right? But then walking away is the hardest part for most parents. I mean, we just don't understand that, instead of escalating the whole thing, how dare you? I think it automatically comes to you, right? But then why is that step so critical? walking away from that scene?
Because it prevents that escalation loop. See, she said, I said, she said, I said, she said, I said, that loop will go on unendingly. So the moment we tell them that, okay, the what do you call, say for example, something like, I see you're frustrated, but your room still needs to be done before screen time. Like Divya was
Hmm.
talking about screen time just now.
Right.
The moment we say that, we don't give them a chance to respond. You just walk away from there. Let's not be bothered whether they do it or not. Now, this child will have a question mark. She walked away. Do I do it? Do I not do it? Oh, she's really irritated. Might as well do it. Is the conclusion they come to mostly.
It's like more kids are also understanding your body language. And if you consider me, I don't walk away. I just sit there quietly, calmly, and they understand that something has gone wrong. Something is not right. Now, 2 minutes ago, he was speaking, he was asking, he was telling, and now he's quiet. He's not even talking to us, not even looking at us. So that glare is not present now, which used to be in our cases. Now I'm not okay. Do whatever you want to, and don't come to me again. Like for this particular, at least for this problem, don't come to me right now. And that is a signal that they understand and they do it. And I don't know whether this is a good parenting or bad. I cannot differentiate right now, and I'm not going into that level. But again, I said that the
So, yeah, you just
neuropsychology and
said this, no, Dinesh? So, Sheila, do you think this is good parenting or bad parenting? Or just parenting?
Well, yeah, I want to add something to this. When I tell something that has to be done, and when I get all the expressions, I just say, you know it, it has to be done. So I leave it to you. And there are times when I have work, I walk away. If I don't have work, I'll just sit there, but I will not do it. If it doesn't happen, yeah, sometime it just is a test of our patience, but then we have to make them understand the importance of certain things that has to be done, and it has to be done by them. They can't expect us to do it every time. So in those situations, we just have to give them that time that they have to process it, understand, and take action. So, yeah, patience is a big test here, which as parents with our children, it doesn't happen. They always say, you are so kind to them, is what she would say to me.
Oh, you are
That same
saying
thing.
that? I have a daughter who says, Mama, your parenting with my brother and me were totally different. You were a Hitler with me and you are parenting my brother.
same here.
Yes, so it's we just have to let them do it. I mean, yes, patience plays a big role, which is like we need that, like how they fill gas in the vehicles. I
And
wish we could
sometimes
fill it like that.
nowadays, what happens, like what Sheila is saying, and all those things, like patience. So when they don't listen to you, right? Like I've been blabbering about the time management because their routines are so much into that. So I was like, it continuously happens.
Yeah,
And
it
after
happens.
a time, I stopped actually. I'm not saying
Yeah.
if it is your exams, you have to manage your time. You do it your way because I have told it multiple times. And when they fail, and I think that is a better way. If they fail
Yes.
once, they'll come back to you, and then they'll
Yes.
say,
Yeah,
"What
that's
you
what
were saying,
Radhika
that
was
was
saying,
correct."
is that what Radhika said was we have to let them fall. That is
Yeah.
something
So
that we are not
It's
it's
doing.
so
not.
hard seeing them fall, Dinesh, as a
It,
parent.
I
I
know
It
it,
cannot tell
is,
you.
but
but then
Radhika, there is no other
yeah,
option
we
at
can
that
do it.
time. That
Yes.
see, if we'll say no that this dress is looking fine on you, so they will not listen to us. And but somebody else would say, from where have you purchased this dress? This is looking fine on you. Then they'll come
That
back. Okay,
repeats.
they
That
praised
repeats.
it, and I'll be wearing this again. So
Yes.
then
Smita
they
seems to
realize,
be
okay,
wanting to add something.
I I would like to add something. Yes, yes, I'm waiting. That's somewhere I'll find that gap and I'll
No,
add
that is the
something.
reason I
See
saw you
what?
waiting from the past 2 minutes. That's why.
Yeah. Adding to this now, walking away or giving them chance to let them do whatever they want to, but at the same time, because what my child exactly like if I walk away, they want the response at that moment only. Sometimes even I get the response from my child even. Why didn't you speak at that moment? I wanted you to speak. You didn't speak at that moment. So when she becomes calm or he becomes calm, and then I interrupt and then I speak, then I give my vote. She says, why didn't you give me at that moment? You should have given, na? I needed that at that
Correct.
moment. You should have given me a simple
Yes.
hug at least, Mama. I needed that one. You didn't take me closer even. You just went away. They don't accept that one even. They want to be attended
Want you to be
Correct.
there at
of
that
the time.
moment with them.
Because now these kids, as you said, now Radhika, I'm totally agree with that. They have the exposure, they have a number of things around them, but they are still in dilemma. They know what is right, what is wrong, but they don't know what to choose. Right? It's not like that they don't care what my parents feel about me, or they also need the care. Who else is going to look at joint families and others at our time? There were a number of people. Mama ने डांट दिया तो भाई आंटी के पास चले जाएंगे, चाची
Correct.
है, दादा है, दादी है. But here they know कि mama also doesn't have any other option, papa also doesn't have any other option. They know कि I have to take care of my parents emotions even, but at the same time they want to be attended at that
Yes,
moment,
totally agree.
isn't
Totally
it?
agree with you,
And at the
Smita.
same time, when we let them go, let them experience, when we don't intrude at their feelings or their emotions and all, so sometimes it may happen ki that total fall on, or they get exhausted sometime. That burnout situation may come in their life even, right? But at the same time, till that time, we do understand ki bhai, my child requires me now. That simple words also, just being with them for 5-10 minutes also will give them smoothness, calmness. As you said, na, that panic attacks and all that can stop,
Yes.
isn't it? When we say ki we are blessed to have that kind of parents, at the same time navigating the kids and monitoring their actions is the main role of today's Gen Z's parents. I feel like each and every step to be monitored, and what my child is doing, is he or she is at the right path or not. That is because in the schools also this is the biggest, I would say, trauma. Yeah, the kids are, they say कि ma'am, he doesn't listen, she doesn't listen. अरे भाई, you try to get it in that way. When you feel कि they should be at your stage, they should understand my feelings, you also try to understand what they are feeling. Whatever exposure you have given them, laptop,
And
Wi-Fi,
Smita,
mobile
they
phones,
feel
everything and so.
this generation, I'm talking about Gen Z and Alpha, they feel a lot. If you're getting my point,
Too
Yeah.
the feelings and
emotional.
emotions are at the next level.
Too true,
When,
true, true.
when sometimes I'm just looking at them and I'm like, yeah, did my parents actually parent me as a brick wall or something? That
Exactly. Very true.
Actually, we need session to be insightful, to look into, peep into ourselves. They are not. They know what they are. What do they feel? Am I
very
happy?
confident.
They are very confident. True, true, true. They could
And they're
understand
big
their
risk
own feelings and
takers.
their friends even.
They're big risk takers.
True,
Entire
true, true.
generation.
Totally, yes.
Entire
Totally.
generation. They're
Yes.
not scared. They're not scared of the future. They're not scared that they'll fall. It's like,
Mm.
and their vision is very temporary. Trust me when I'm saying that.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't have a long vision.
No, 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 not at all. Live in presence,
Ah.
right? Whatever is there today, let's leave it.
We
Give
were
your
always taught
101% and
that
live.
be prepared for a rainy day. इनको rainy day तो सिर्फ बारिश गिरता है. Nothing else. More
True.
than that, they don't think. So, at the end of the day, yes, rolling of eyes, please do ask them why they are actually rolling and try to connect with them.
Right. So let's have look at one more scenario. So what do I do when my 9-year-old snaps back at me? You can't make me. You are not the boss of me, and it triggers me instantly. and I vouch. I mean, it happens. So, what should a parent actually do when a child says something like this?
So when they are actually doing something as a parent, we just refuse to join into the argument. It is as simple as that. They're
Right.
actually asking you, you can't make me do this is such a common dialogue in children these days. It's not that they're being stubborn. It's just their way of saying it, because they are not going to be bullied by you into doing it, is what they mean.
Right.
Okay. So, what do you call? You just have to try and explain it to them, saying that I'm not trying to be the boss of you, but at the end of the day, you have to put your what do you call, bag away or shoes away, because this is one of the cases which came to me. So, the child refuses to put the bag and the shoes away after they come to school, and the parent is going psychotic about it.
No, I have a issue. My child doesn't zip the bag after uses. And it terrifies me so much when I see all those three, compartments wide open. And she just doesn't want to do it.
So let the books fall. Let the books fall, let everything fall, let her be late for school, let her face the consequences.
Right.
Because
That's correct.
until and unless we do that, see, I personally feel that till they are in grade 5 and grade 6, they need to be totally handheld, because, but from grade
Right.
7 onwards, you can let them fall little by little. It
Yes.
is only then they are not studying, let them get low marks, because grade 7 is not such a big deal that even if they get low marks, it's okay. It's not some ninth,
Right.
10th, 11th, 12th, no. So if you
Correct.
want them to have a good lifestyle in life, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, let them fall in 7th. Let them understand. We have to slowly make them understand their responsibility. So it'll be something like, you just have to say, like, let me take the zip example. What do you call, Divya? When does this thing happen, if I may know?
After she comes back from school.
After she comes back from school, she opens the zips when she's doing her homework, or it's, in general, it's like that.
No, after the homework, when the books have to be removed from the bag.
Okay, right. So once she finishes the homework, for 2 entire days, don't talk about the zip.
No, I've stopped talking.
No, stop talking about it. And when did you stop talking about this?
I mean, now she doesn't listen to me. I mean, the bag remains as it is. It's only my temper that goes up. So I said, instead of just investing my energy on telling her, so I've stopped telling her.
So have you ever asked her why she doesn't close the zips?
No,
Ask her today.
I think I should.
Next time she doesn't do it, maybe she just likes irritating you.
Yeah, yeah.
They like
That's
pressing our
one thing I've
buttons, the
observed.
kids.
Yes,
So maybe she
that's
just is
something.
doing that to get some kind of a reaction from you, or that might not be the case at all. Just sit her down and ask her why. See, I keep
What is
yelling
the
at you so
logic?
much, and why don't you zip it up? What is the actual logic behind it? And if she says, I just don't want to, because that's the usual answer you'll get, trust me when I'm saying this. So, it's just like that. Okay, if you feel that way, fine, leave it. Let her go with open zips. One day she will lose her book, one day she will lose her pencil, one day she will lose something. And when she asks for it, you say you will buy it, but delay the buy.
Yes,
Let her feel the pain a little. Don't let the spouse interfere, because children are very intelligent. If you
right,
don't, so don't say no. Say, I will buy it, but delay the buy.
right. They know exactly when to go to the father and what should be discussed with the mother. They exactly know how to navigate. They're good at navigation, and Sheila is completely agreeing with me on this.
So it is just something,
Very
you can just say something like, but you do have to remind the child, trust me, try different approaches. One, the first thing is, ask her why she actually unzips and leaves it open. her bag.
Mm.
And then if after that, leave it for about 1 week if you don't reach any solution or anything. Okay. And then the next time you just, calmly, because you are the parent, you can't let it go. Okay.
Right.
So just calmly, you just say, can you please zip those bags up? And then, you just stand over there without saying anything, even if it is late, even if it is doomsday, even if it is something like that. Patience, like Sheila said at some point. Just wait, keep staring, and wait for her to zip the
Complete the
bags.
task.
But don't talk. Only one word in a calm tone, like I think Dinesh mentioned. You say, zip your bags, and just stand there and wait for her to zip the bag. Look at the zip, look at her. Look at the zip, look at her. She'll get frustrated, and then
Just
she wants to walk away. You just say, we'll just zip the bag and then we can walk away.
right.
Simple. And then ultimately she'll think you're crazy and she'll zip the bag and she'll go.
Absolutely.
So different approaches. We can't stick to
So
one.
yeah, one more. Yeah,
Yeah.
one more question is, see, what if I've already messed it up? Like I've lost my temper. I've screamed at my 8-year-old child in the morning. So is the damage already done? And or if not, then how do I, do something so that I've already yelled, right? So how to come out of the situation? So I already I've got into that guilt zone as a parent.
It's a
So
very
how to come out?
simple thing, Divya. We need to, as parents, we need to learn to put our egos aside, and we just need to go and sit in front of the child and say, okay, I lost it. And I am sorry. Okay. Uh, yes, yes, even I have said sorry hundreds of
I
times.
have
Dinesh.
said
I cannot even tell you how many times. So it's like, I'm sorry, I yelled. Because sometimes it so happens it becomes a power play, sometimes in public, sometimes, privately. And when we are busy, especially, they have come with a small or tiny question and we are depressed or we are irritated and we just lash out at them. Later on we do feel bad that we have done like that, but at the end of the day we just go and we just tell them, maybe, like when I really feel bad, sometimes I don't feel like immediately talking to them about that, but then I do ultimately get back to them. It's
right.
like that.
I think that conversation is really helpful because that also lets them understand that as parents, like Dinesh said, we are humans and we also can go wrong and it's okay, right? I mean, it's okay to tell
Yes.
sorry. I mean, that's
Yes.
something that's very powerful that we teach them.
But
So,
Radhika, you said very rightly that if you go immediately, then that would be their coping mechanism of any kind of interactions that we are having. But let that breathing space comes in between, and
Yes.
then after that you go right, and then you realize that okay, fine, I've said this to you. So how do you feel? Like what was that? So sometimes now they are grown up also, so they understand. Okay, there would be some kind of an office pressure, Sonita. So all these kind of things, they also tend to ask you something. Why were you upset? There
Absolutely.
was not that much a topic of too much of heating at that time, that you yelled at me, but it was nothing. It was just about we were just laughing at a serial or something, and you just yelled at me, "Ki chor mat karo," and all those things. And so what was that? Are you all right? So kids are becoming smart. And that happens only when there is a two-side conversations which are happening. Like sometimes we are going towards them and then they start coming to us. And then there is
right.
a bond.
At the
And
end of the day, it is communication, Dinesh. We
exactly.
need to communicate with our children, putting aside everything. And trust me, as trainers, we communicate a lot. Okay, people
Exactly.
who are in the talking business, I'm saying educators, trainers, what do you call professors, whatever, because we talk a lot, we tend to talk like that at home also. But this is not the same issue when it comes to normal households. I have found that they just don't communicate. They are like, just taking, boiling everything inside, and it just erupts like a volcano at some point. So that is something
And
I guess today's parents need to be really aware of, that you need to communicate with your child, and it is okay to tell them you're sorry,
Absolutely.
yeah, and
but not
that's
at
the
the
same
same
thing,
time.
right? That's the point, that it should not be that just now the argument happened and you're saying sorry, then it means that you're not no value. It means
Yes.
the kid is always right, because as
Yes.
a parent we know what is right and wrong, and it's no harm listening to them even afterwards. Like, okay, what was your point? Maybe I have screamed at that time, but what was your point? What were you telling? It was making no sense at that time. Let's just discuss now. So that space, because we both are calm and then we have those our mental directions in the right way. That makes sense, and it has happened. Like if it happens with my mom right now, she's 76, but still it happens.
But here we are talking from the parents' side.
It's from
Yes.
both sides, being a kid as well as being a parent.
No, no,
So
no. Let me
sometimes it
ask the
becomes a
kid
little.
this. Let me ask the kid what they think. So, Insia, the same thing. Do you think it will work? Okay, let me just put aside the case studies and everything. What do you think is the most problematic thing that you find in general with your parents, not your parents, in general, kids with parents? Let us put it like that. What is the problem you feel that the current generation is facing?
Ma'am, so the current generation, we don't want someone to talk in a very high pitch to us. We get agitated, we get in a bad mood, and then we don't want to do the work that we are assigned. We want them to like talk to us sweetly. If my mother asks me to do something and say you have to do this, it's like a command, it's like an order. So that I don't take it well. The tone matters. If my mother says, "Baby, will you do this? I'm busy, I'm tired, will you do this for me?" I'll do it. She's in a happy mood, I'm in a happy mood. So,
Okay, but then
Win-win for both.
if as a parent, if I am looking at my son and saying, "Baby, do this," and after that he doesn't do,
Then ignore it.
no, I want Insia's answer. If, for example, I am talking in a very nice voice and I'm asking my child to do something, and after that also that child hasn't done.
so ma'am, you again tell him to do it once more in nice manner. And if he doesn't do it again, then the third time is the last time. If he doesn't do it again the third time, then
Okay,
we are
parents, we've got permission. Third time, slap the child.
Yell, yell, yell.
No,
No,
it's not to
never,
slap the child, because
never.
then there will be like
That
you
was
have to go
just
and
a
do your
joke.
own work.
That was just a joke. I mean,
No,
that
no, I
happened
understand.
in prehistoric dinosaur era. But the third time, yes, we are allowed to raise our voice a little bit, Insia.
yes, yes. Ma'am, but till the third time they do it. It's not, the children don't extend it to
No,
that long.
no. I
We
don't agree there,
As
because
a
even
she has a lot of confidence in a
Nor do
child.
third,
I. Nor do I.
third time, yeah, third time also, if they are not doing it right, so then you have to say it. Okay, you just said, I'll do it by myself.
Yeah.
Then
We,
your voice raised up.
in our place, it's you tell once and don't tell it again. I'll
Yeah,
do it. You tell me only when I don't do it. Don't keep repeating it. You've told me once, no? I've registered. I'll do it. But it can't happen now.
I'll
It
do it
has
at
to
my
happen when I'm
convenience.
ready.
No, but what
Yes.
Insia said is something which I get from my children also. They're
Hmm.
like, especially when there are certain chores in the house that need to be done, they're like, don't say it, because when you say it, then like she said, it becomes an order or a command. So,
Correct.
so now what
Request.
I am training myself to actually say something like, tomorrow I need this done by this time. and I don't ask them. It's like wo pada rehta hai. It's like it's there forever, like some kind of a showpiece. But I am boiling inside, like aggressive something, which we just talked about. I am like that inside, but I mean outside I am like Zen. You know, every time I'm going, I'm looking at that thing like that and going away again.
What I say, Radhika, in that case is let's do it together, and I'll give most of the time work. So maybe it's like you're doing something and then leaving a lot of things for them to do. Like, okay,
No,
my
no,
call
there
came
are
in,
certain
and
things, Dinesh. See, uh, like, how old is your child, please?
one is 18 and one is 14. So,
One is 18, and it also, there is a difference between a boy and a girl, how they respond to
right.
you,
So the
actually.
a boy is 18, the girl is 14.
Yeah. So it's like, it depends on the age of the child also, as to how
Exactly.
we actually go. If it is a what do you call, an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old, what I said, and if it is lower than that, what you said, you go along and do it with the child.
Yes.
Because then, if I'm talking about a teenager, if I get up and start doing it, they are relaxed. They will ask me
No,
to do
but
it.
then
They
then
want.
I'll just then we also become some a little smart parents, right? When we start doing it, but then we left it in between and they have to do it.
No,
So
they
that
don't.
is their responsibility.
They
But
don't.
they do it.
They
But
don't.
in my
But
case, it
again, that
happens.
becomes a command. But that again
No,
becomes a command.
it's not a command. Like for me, I won't agree that it becomes a command because what happens is once they start doing it, the major step is like just making them get up to do that. Once they start doing it, no, many a times they say, okay, I'll do it by myself. So you do something else, I'll do it by myself. So this has happened quite a time with me.
Now, for us, it is like I'm a bit of a Bollywood dramatic mother. And, when I actually ask them to do something and, they don't do up, I like half getting up from the place, in an irritated way, like, we're going, wait. That is the reaction.
For me, again, if you're saying no, the Bollywood style, so it is the same thing. Like कोई काम नहीं हो रहा है, then okay, I'll say like मेरे करण अर्जुन आएंगे and they will do something. So वो नहीं वो आएंगे और कब वो होगा, so no worries. So that is how things are happening. And you rightly said the age matters and even the work and everything does matter here. And it depends on the intensity of the work that you are allotting to them or giving to them to. If
Yes.
it's so,
Okay, so I think we've had a lovely conversation today. Before we end the entire thing, I really would like to ask each one of you, what is that one takeaway that you could talk about from today's conversation? Let me start with Smita.
Mm, takeaway for me is कि, we also need to be giving time to them as we expect. And before acting, I should be seeing at the side कि someone is there looking at me, staring at me, who's very sharp of imitating, right? Who's ready to imitate me. So if I want a good response, I need to act in that manner. Whatever I require, I expect, I need to do it first, act it first, and then expect it.
Absolutely. So before we go to Sheila's, what do you call, takeaway, could we have the Mentimeter once, please?
Yeah, I have posted the link in the chat box.
Oh, okay. I think the same thing is coming.
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just a second. Okay, I'll.
Okay. By the time, what do you call, Divya figures it out, yes, Sheila, what would be your takeaway?
My takeaway is that I get a confirmation or from all of you when you people said that, we need to pause where it's required to, and some places where you need to make them do, and again there is a pause there, plus whatever we are doing is right. That feeling, that at least that guilt feeling has reduced now after this conversation. That's what I would say, that maybe I'm not that bad a parent. So this is my takeaway, I would say.
Perfect, perfect. So, before we go to what do you call Satya, is the Mentimeter working?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
rested it.
No, it's same now, I believe.
No, no, no. It is not.
Oh,
No, I tried to open it, showing the same.
oh. So
Go
again,
down. Go down. There is another Mentimeter link.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, got the another one.
So while the rest are answering, what do you call? Yes, Satya. What about you? Okay. Dinesh.
Uh, for me, the key takeaway is like I would say children are not wrong always. That's my key takeaway. We have to understand because we don't understand their burden.
Yes.
So that is my key takeaway, which is we have to be more empathetic towards.
Okay. Fine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Insia, what would be your takeaway?
I'm the, as I mentioned earlier, the tone audit. That
That is something which you are going to make everybody do at the house today, huh?
Now, Insia will do it on the
I
very first
always
time
remind.
when someone says, right? The parents says for the second time, baby, please do it. So she'll do it. She won't wait for the third time.
I do it in the first time. My brother does it uh, in the second time, but yes, I keep that in mind.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Yes. Okay. Divya, what would be your key takeaway from this session?
So for me, it's like Insia also mentioned, the tone and the body language has to be, a lower. I generally get into an higher. My
Yes.
voice instantly goes up, so I need to really calm down. Although I'm working on it, but it has to be done because my child is like I said, is in an age where the horns are just coming out. The small horns which are coming, and that
There's
rebel is
nothing
just.
you can do to prevent them as she grows up.
It's not for her. It's for my own self. To preserve my own energy that I need to do it.
For me, I feel it's the facial expression that I need to look into, because that is something which I get from my kids also, because they are my critics. So they're like, Mama, you are smiling, you have a smiley voice, but you have Amrish Puri's face. Okay, fine. So that is something where I need to check myself. So that is my takeaway. So, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. It was a very good conversation. I personally feel that only when we talk about such things does our life get better. And we also feel that everybody is in the same boat, like Sheila said. And if there is a struggle, we can reach out to each other.
Every time I attend the parenting session, I kind of feel like, I tap my back and say, okay, you're doing a good job. So don't worry. There are people. So thanks for this session. I look forward for more of these.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, yes, thank you for being here. So, we call it a day, Insia.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, both of you, for that um, powerful discussion. And parents, that brings us to the end of our 90 minutes. And you now have the exact tools needed to audit your tone and the model behavior you want to see. Also, while you are in the chat, do click the Athlete Academy links already posted. Mark your calendars for June 6th. We'll be sharing the registration details of the conversation shortly. Thank you all for showing up for your families tonight. Have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, and I have another thing. See, whenever we attend any kind of a session, or whenever we have gone through this session, I would just like you to pen it down on what you call maybe on LinkedIn or something, as to the key takeaways that we bought, or your own thoughts. There are so many thoughts which go on your own style of parenting, and what you would like to tell the audience. So it would be wonderful, because at the end of the day, only when you talk about different kinds of subjects will you have more people chatting with you. It's as simple as that. So do pen down what you feel about parenting tomorrow, day after, in the coming week.
Yeah, I do that, Radhika, because what happens is like sometimes you have planned a series on certain topics which is coming up. So maybe it can get delayed, but that thought gets registered and I just keep on writing. Maybe a conversation, something out of the conversation. And then I write down it on LinkedIn. You have seen my posts, right?
Yes,
So
I do.
and they are sometimes reflective, sometimes it is informative, and
And it's a
because
request, if you want me to see your post an easier way, I feel any one of us, if we want to see each other's posts, please tag me. Huh? Just put an at, or put Radhika or Atulit Academy or whatever, or
surely.
Divya or Smita or Satya, so that immediately the other person immediately gets the
I think we
download.
can share the LinkedIn IDs here if we can, so that we can link together if it is allowed.
I think, okay, you're not there in the circle yet, right?
I'm
Um,
I'm not there.
yeah, you're not there in the circle. Yeah,
Right.
you can put it over here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can share it, because we will be having these conversations again and again, and it will be a big thing. So, yes, Insia madam, can we go for the night and do our parenting?
And I have to prepare for a session tomorrow. Uh, it's again with the parents.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely, absolutely. Right.
the parents orientation for the AI summer camp.
Absolutely, absolutely. All the best, Dinesh. And thank you everyone for coming today. It's a sign out from Athalat Academy and Radhika Gaur.